Good evening, welcome back to Golem Telly. I am your host, the magical Mr. E. Let me ask you a question. Have you started thinking about your Christmas shopping yet? It's October already. I've started thinking about mine. And when I start thinking about what I want for Christmas, I often start with the Argos Catalogue. And 40 years ago, things were no different. That's right, folks. In my hands, I have a copy of the Argos Catalogue from the autumn of 1984. Let's take a look at it together. Come with me to camera 2. We'll stick this under the retroscope. We'll zoom in and we'll check out what I would have wanted for Christmas 40 years ago. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on the autumn 1984 edition of the Argos Catalogue. And on the front cover, resplendent in 80s beige, you can see a selection of the goodies that you will find inside this edition. A reminder that when you buy from Argos, you have a 16-day money-back guarantee. I dare say anybody who bought something from this catalogue will find that guarantee period has now come to an end. Simple, modern discount shopping. Well, it was modern once. It's not modern anymore, but that's just the way we like it, right? And on the spine here, just in case you don't believe me, it says catalogue number 22, autumn 1984. Now, I'm not going to go through every single page because there's a lot of pages in here. Some stuff we can skip through that won't have changed much in 40 years. Jewellery, I suppose. I don't know, duvet covers. Do we have to look at those? Not really. What I'm really interested in is the stuff that would have got me excited with Christmas around the corner. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I used to take the Argos catalogue and any other catalogues I could find, and I would cut out the things that I wanted, and I'd stick them down on a piece of paper with some Pritt stick, and I'd hand that piece of paper to my mum, or my grandma, or my aunties, or anybody else who I thought I might realistically be in with a shout of getting a present from. Okay, enough jibber jabber. Let's open this up, shall we? And no formalities to speak of. Look at that, we're straight in with the jewellery, and not much to say. Let's just skate past the boring bits at the beginning. That's boring. That's boring. That's boring. 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 Okay, hang on, watches. Slow down, back up, back up. Nothing particularly exciting there, but I dare say there's going to be something worth our attention here. Here we go. Digital watches. And not your retro style revamped digital watches that you can buy nowadays, but proper digital watches from 1984. There's one with a calculator. There's one with a clock display in LCD form. Very snazzy. Another calculator. Loving the stainless steel wristband. That's the kind I would have gone for. This one looks like it's got all the gadgets. What's that? Number 20. Should we check it out? Number 20. $35.95. That's the Argos price. Anywhere else it's going to cost you $41.95. It says Casio Data Bank Tele Memory LCD watch can store 50 sets of 6 letters and 12 numbers. 15-digit display, daily alarm, 5 independent alarms, stopwatch to 1/100th of a second, and a back light. Amazing. What more do you want? Let's keep going. Oh, look, there's one with a game. This one looks cool. We're past the watches now and we're into stationery. There's a Roland Rat Superstar stationery set and a Postman Pat stationery set. And what's this one in the middle? I can't tell. Oh, Star Wars. What do you get there? Oh my goodness me. Look, 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 look. I might have to scour eBay later on for one of these. It's a Star Wars stationery set with all those pencil toppers. Do you remember? Do you? There's some crayons in there as well, I can see. Let's have a look. Number 13, Star Wars Stationery Gift Set. A selection of useful items including crayons, pencils, eraser, etc. Plus colourful pencil top figures of 6 of the most popular Star Wars characters. I want it. £3.49p. Amazing. I had one of these. I'm sure I did. It's a pencil case that looks like a massive calculator. Cool. Some pens with numbers. The time. They tell you the time. And what time is it? It's 1984. That's what time it is. Makeup, boring. More jewellery, boring. Gloves, boring. Knickknacks. Everyone needs knickknacks on their shelves. Well, if you were a grandparent in the 80s, you did. You could have some ducks, or an owl, or a ship in a bottle. Handbags. I don't know anything about handbags. My girlfriend does, though. She's an expert. Ah, cigarette lighters, the old cigarette lighter section. We had one like this. Real onyx marble. Nobody ever used it. What's the nicest cigarette lighter here, do you think? How about this one with a wood grain finish? Briefcases. Let me tell you something, youngsters of today. When I was at school, hard-sided briefcases were mandatory. None of your rucksacks and all of that stuff that ends up ruining your school books. Sorry, I know I sound a little bit upset there, but it does bother me when I see my students' books looking so dreadful and all tattered and torn and scribbled on and covered in orange squash. It's the holy trinity of 80s aftershaves. Brute 33, Old Spice and denim. Now, wouldn't you just look like the consummate yuppie carrying all this lot around with you? A pair of leather gloves, a brolly, and a briefcase. Oh, look, there's a page stuck together here. No, it's the hairdryer section. Not what I expected. Keep that perm maintained to perfection with your own Calor electric salonette. Where would Britain be without kettles? That's a proper 80s looking kettle, isn't it? And that one. And that one. Ah, now, what have we got here? This looks especially 80s. Moulinex. Moulinex makes things simple, and that includes the price. A Goblin Teasmade automatic tea or coffee maker with clock, timer, alarm, and luminous hands. Yeah, toasted sandwich makers. We had one of these. Boy, oh boy, used to get in from school, spread butter on both sides of the bread, fill it with cheese, stick it in the toasted sandwich maker, and tuck in, whilst watching blockbusters. Those were the days. Ooh, look, that's a pretty 80s shot, isn't it? I don't know really, I wasn't really drinking cocktails in the 80s. I was too busy playing Commodore 64 games, but I imagine that that's what the tables looked like at the parties my parents would have gone to in the 80s. Cocktail shaker and some little paper umbrellas. I once gave myself a massive electric shock. I was fiddling around, unscrewing things and trying to make my bedroom look cool, and then all of a sudden I felt my entire body shaking and vibrating. And I looked down at my hand and I had the exposed wire from the cable in my hand, and I looked up and I could see that the other end was plugged into the mains outlet. And I couldn't let go because I was shaking so much, so I had to use my other hand to pull the wire free, and I looked down at my hand and I had a massive burn on 2 of my fingers, and I had to go to hospital, and they told me that I was lucky to be alive. So there you are, folks. A cautionary tale. Don't mess about with track lighting. What's the most 80s looking duvet set we can find? Oh, come on. Now that I want now, never mind in 1984. Look at it. You can have the Postman Pat one. I'll have the Return of the Jedi. Or Superman, I'll take that one. I don't mind. This looks like something my sister would have liked. Oh, Victoria Plum. Anything with a wood grain finish is proper 80s, isn't it? That looks dangerous. And that does too. You wouldn't want one of those in your house now, would you? Or any of these, actually. Oh, God. Irons. Have they changed in 40 years? You tell me. I don't iron anything. That looks like something Action Man would have driven. Ooh, hello. Aha. Now. A hi-fi unit. Is that just the cabinet? Hang on, number 17. Hi-fi tower storage unit. Yeah, it's just the cabinet. $32.99. It's quite expensive. And look, there's a Commodore 64 with a C2N data recorder underneath and some books. You'd want some games there. There's a couple of Commodore games, look, published by Commodore. I'd recognise those anywhere, those silver boxes. Cool tellies. Could do with one of those now. There's another Commodore 64. It's probably the same one as that one. And video recorders. Are there any top loaders? Yep, there's one. And there's one. When my cousin and I used to play soldiers, we'd take it in turns to set our soldiers up in the most cunning hiding places. And I'll never forget the time that I thought I'd wiped out all of my cousin's soldiers, only for him to reveal at the last moment he had one soldier left, and it was hidden in the top loading section of his VCR, and he pressed the eject button and the soldier appeared and mowed down all my soldiers, and he won the game. Gotta hand it to him. It was a great move. The SodaStream 201 makes a wide range of fizzy drinks in both 8-ounce and 12-ounce bottles. Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yes, it is. Used by Arnold Schwarzenegger 5 times Mr. Universe and 7 times Mr. Olympia. And by 1984, the Terminator. Slazenger squash rackets. Squash was really popular in the 80s, wasn't it? Oh, and there's a massive head bag. I had one of those, and I loved it until the time I was waiting at a bus stop and a dog came up to it and weed on it. And obviously I had to throw it away and all its contents. And I never got another one. That was the end of that. I'll never forget that. I'm still traumatized by it. The Flymo. Tell me, does the Flymo still exist? It was a big deal back in the 80s. It's like a hovercraft, right? Your very own hovercraft in the garden. I can feel the toy section getting closer. Ooh, technology. I remember this, the Kodak Disc 4000 camera outfit. $29.95. Camera sets exposure and turns on flash automatically. Hanimex slide projector. The first games console that we ever owned in our house was a Hanimex. We'll talk about that another time. There's a Polaroid camera. Ah, the credit card calculator. That's perfect for totting up the bill when you've all gone out to dinner at Garfunkel's and you want to know how much everyone has to pay. 80s phones, I've got one right behind me, still plugged in. A direct line to the 1980s. I pity the fool who doesn't have a Mr. T stationery set with a calculator. The excitement is building, folks. Can you feel it? The toys are on the way. I had one of these, number 9 Casio VL1 electronic musical instrument with 2.5 octave 29 key keyboard. I think I bought mine from a shop in Boreham Wood. The Sony Walkman, except there isn't a Sony Walkman to be seen. There's a Philips and a Cathay and a Crown. Maybe there's one over here. Nope, just more clock radios. Wow, look at this one. Portable stereos. That one would have been good for a BBC Micro, I suspect. Computer compatible. And you could win a Vauxhall Nova. This looks nice. I like its big speaker. Look at this monster. $119.95. Philips D8534 stereo component system. And Meatloaf. Well, that's a coincidence. I bought the vinyl of Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell and Bat Out of Hell 2 just last night. I love Meatloaf and I miss Meatloaf. I went to a concert to see Meatloaf many years ago and it was at Wembley Arena, I think. I'll never forget because he had not been too well in the lead up to the concert. And when the concert started, he managed to get through the first 4 or 5 numbers. But then by the 5th or 6th number, you could see that he was visibly tiring. And at the end of one of the songs, he did this kind of strange twist in midair and he collapsed on the stage. And the lights went down, but just before the lights had gone down completely, we could see emergency people rushing on from the side of the stage. The curtain came down and the house lights came on and they were obviously working on trying to resuscitate poor old Meatloaf. And after a few minutes, he eventually came back out on stage and he was given a massive ovation. But he had to explain that he just wasn't well enough to continue, that he'd been suffering with the flu or something leading up to the concert, and he just didn't have anything left and he had to cancel the concert right there and then. But he promised everybody in the audience that he would reschedule the concert and we'd all be given free tickets. And he was true to his word. And when we went to the rescheduled concert, he began with an entirely new opening number. I can't remember what song it was, but I'll never forget the way it was staged. We saw him pretending to die on stage in a hospital operating theatre. as people were feverishly trying to save his life, but they couldn't save him. And then he rose from the hospital bed, rising from the dead. And he gave us the most brilliant concert that night, and I'll never forget the way he belted out Bat Out of Hell at the end of the night. It was amazing. Poor old Meatloaf. Gone far too soon. What a legend. Okay, let's get back to the Argos catalogue. Some cassettes, we all need blank cassettes. Pack of TDK D90s. 3 of them for, let's see, number 16. Any guesses? $2.99. I was obsessed with car radios in 1990. When I passed my driving tests, I had to get the best possible. I ended up with a Goodman's. With its own graphic equalizer, yeah, a bit like that. In my yellow Volvo 343. It was cool. Oh, I remember as well, I installed a pair of big Goodman speakers on my back parcel shelf. You could hear me coming from miles away. Blank video cassettes, we all need those. That's the classic Christmas present. Everybody got those, so yeah, I'll be putting those on my Christmas list. I used to love putting the stickers on. Do you remember these fancy schmancy video cases that made them look like books? Cassette carry cases. We all had those, didn't we? And little gondolas, essential for every bedroom. Wow. Are you as excited as I am right now? Look at these. Oh, my heart's beating faster. There's an Atari. There's a ZX Spectrum. Donkey Kong cartridge for Atari computers. Pole position. Look at that, folks. Has there ever been a better designed joystick? I mean, maybe the QuickShot 2 Turbo. Sorry if you can hear the rain outside, it's tipping it down. Oh well, we're nice and warm in here looking at the Argos catalogue, so it doesn't matter. Nice double page spread. Oh, all right, it's going to get really, really juicy from here on in. The Commodore 64 and the Atari 2600. The Commodore 1311 joystick games controller. Nah, even at $7.49, you can keep it, mate. I bet that one's rubbish too. Number 4, The Boss. Oh, didn't we see a review of The Boss when I was checking out the November 1985 issue of Zap 64 a couple of weeks ago? Hey, have a look at some of my other videos. And while we're at it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I should probably say that more often. I've only got 38 subscribers. That's okay. They'll come in time. Let's move on. Portable TVs, all showing videos of birds. And here's some black and white TVs showing people skiing and doing the high jump. Oh, my beating heart. So it's interesting you could still buy the Donkey Kong Game & Watch in the autumn of 1984, because I'm pretty sure I got mine in 1982. And there's Donkey Kong Jr., which was already out by then, and Snoopy Tennis. I've got one of these, and one of these, and one of these, and one of these upstairs. I've already showed you that. You wait till I take on Donkey Kong under the retroscope. I was brilliant at that, and I bet you I still am. Tomitronics. Yep, I remember those. What's this? Star Force. What's this one here? Frogger. That looks nice, doesn't it? Snazzy. There's Caveman. I don't recognise this one. Number 12. What's that? Maths Master. That's why I don't recognise it. Boring. Crazy Kong. I've got another Crazy Kong handheld games machine. Doesn't look like that. It's white. We'll dig that out at some point as well and have some fun with it. Speak and Spell. What's this one? Speak and Maths. Escort XR3i Racing. A big track, battleships. There's just too much to absorb here, isn't there? You can pause the video if you like and just wallow in this majestic display of 80s gaming. A Return of the Jedi board game. They've re-released the Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back board games in recent years with retro action figures included. They need to hurry up and do that one. What figure do you think they could include that they didn't release in the original run? Something from Return of the Jedi. How about Princess Leia in her Ewok outfit? Perfection. It used to drive us crazy we had that game. Okay, let's move on. More board games. Crossfire Classic. Tank Command. I want to bite your finger. That looks like fun. Family Fortunes. Pac-Man. Ah, some 80s Lego. Oh, and model kits. Space Vehicles model set. 1984 fire station. Is that the classic castle? I think it is. Lego Castle Lion, complete with 4 mounted knights, 8 men-at-arms, operating drawbridge and portcullis. A Lego lunar base. I want one now. That one's huge. We had a chemistry set one Christmas. I don't think I learned anything about chemistry from it, but we had some fun making things go different colours. A BMX. I mean, I'm sure it's not a particularly great BMX. It's not a rally or anything, it's a superstar. I got my BMX from Macro. It was the best thing I owned for years. It was called the Ultimate BMX, and it was black and gold. Mine had mag wheels, not like those horrible spokey things. Tonka toys. And Action Man. I never had a Jeep, but I did have a truck, and a submarine, and an assault copter. That was enough for me. Oh, look, and a Chips role-playing set. You'd need 2 though. The Galoob A-Team set, I do believe, the Combat Headquarters set. It's got the 4 guys, BA, Hannibal, Face and Murdoch, and a load of tat that looks like rubbish. But it's the A-Team guys that you want more than anything. I never had those, but I sure as hell had these guys. In fact, I've still got them. And they're upstairs in the attic. And I'll get them down one day, and we can reminisce together. That's amazing. What do they call that? Number 9. A Deca Toys A-Team Play Van. That's not the actual kit. But it's better than nothing. Well now, Masters of the Universe. There's Snake Mountain, I think. Wait a minute, what number is it? Number 8. Yeah, Snake Mountain, that's Skeletor's stronghold. There's Castle Grayskull. What a classic toy. And they have all the main characters here. He-Man and Skeletor. Who's that? Evil Lyn, Webstore, Buzz-Off, Man-at-Arms, and Beastman. That's the first He-Man figure that I ever owned. I swapped a battery-powered car for it. That's one of the best deals I ever struck. Who's this guy? That's Whiplash, and that's Prince Adam in his pink tights. Looking good. I could look at this page all day. But I gotta move on. What do they call these things again? Number 7, a Viewmaster 3D. A few Action Force figures. That's Baron Ironblood, isn't it? He's your main man. That thing is worth an absolute fortune today. Let's have a look. Number 16, the Robo Skull. Folks, if there's anybody out there who spent hundreds of pounds buying one of these in the last few years, look away now. Because in 1984, you could have had a brand new one for $17.95. We live and learn, folks. We live and learn. I mean, let's just stop the video here. This is everything you need. The Return of the Jedi. I'm not going to name everything that's on this double page spread. I'm just going to encourage you to pause the video right here and spend the next hour gazing at it lovingly, longingly, wistfully, knowing that those days are now behind us. Or are they? Stay tuned to Golem Telly and find out. I think we've seen the main event now, haven't we? There's a Roland Rat cuddly toy, and what was this duck thing called? Orville? Number 7. Yep, a Tibro Orville, 12-inch cuddly toy version of Keith Harris's well-known TV character. Cabbage Patch dolls, look at these ugly things. Girls went crazy for this stuff in the old days. And that, strawberry shortcake. Not for me, thanks. Let's keep going. My Little Pony, eh? Yeah. Rubbish. Star Wars and He-Man, that's what we want. Okay, is that a Care Bear? Yeah, they're all Care Bears, aren't they? Don't like them. They're for girls. Oh, these were cool. Adventure People. Yeah, look, they've hidden them away in the sort of baby section, but they're actually way too cool for this double page spread. Adventure People, what's this one? Number 21. Fisher-Price Alpha Star ZX steerable space vehicle. Complete with trailer, forward reverse gear, robot and space monster. Operates from 2 batteries as well. Only $19.95. Really awesome, that. Barbie. Nah, not for me. Oh, wait a minute. A Golf GTI, convertible, and a McDonald's. Hang on a minute. How come she got all this cool stuff? My sister never mentioned anything about this. I could have done with those for my action men. I'll have a word with my sister about that tomorrow. She should have told me. Okay, we're very, very close to the end now. 277 pages so far. Oh, look. A Fame pop star makeup and design set? No, wait a minute. A pop star makeup and disguise set? So you could actually disguise yourself as one of the kids from Fame. I'd be Bruno Martelli with his keyboard. I think that's it, folks. I think we're done. There's just an index at the back, ways to pay, gift vouchers. Okay. And what's on the back? Oh, a list of branches. There's one in Nottingham in the Broadmarsh Centre. Watford, the Parade High Street. Where was my nearest Argos back in the day? Edgware High Street. They didn't have one in Borehamwood. They do now. Progress always comes too late. And there you have it, folks. That was the Argos Catalogue from the autumn of 1984. I think I've got a pretty good idea what I want for Christmas now. I will make my list this weekend. Let's go back to camera 1 and wrap up for the night. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for a nostalgic flick through the pages of the Argos Catalogue from the autumn of 1984. If you could like and share this video, I would be so grateful. And if you could subscribe to Golem Telly if you haven't done so already, that would be amazing. And please don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that you don't miss my next show, which is coming up in 3 or 4 days' time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Evening shadows deepen, world around is sleeping, everyone's departed.